Hey everybody, Pete Salazar here from WYM Fitness. Today we are going to be doing a 6-exercise circuit. Each exercise is going to be 45 seconds. We're going to take 10 seconds in between, and at the end of each 6 we're going to take a 45-second break. So roughly 18 minutes or so that you're going to be working out today. While I do the demonstration, I want you jogging in place or jumping rope, just getting your body moving, do some jumping jacks. Get yourself ready to go for the circuit once I get done with the demonstration. Guys, the first thing that we're going to do is we're going to be on the floor on our back. If you have dumbbells, I'm going to be demonstrating this with dumbbells. I'm probably going to be using the dumbbells for the workout, but if you have bands, I'm going to demonstrate the exercise with the band as well. Like I said, I'm going to start off with dumbbells. The first thing that we're doing is a chest press from the floor, or just sometimes I just call it a floor press. Lying on your back, keep your knees bent and your feet on the floor. If you want to activate your abs a little bit, you can lift your legs up. You may see me doing this today. Doesn't mean you have to do it. From here, we're pressing up and in, down and wide, up and in. So think about a pyramid sitting on your chest. We're sliding the weights down the side of it and pressing the weights up to the point of that pyramid. The reason that I bring that up is I don't want you to drop the weights down in front of your shoulders or your chest, because I don't want your wrists to make this angle, okay? So keep them safe, keep them locked, pressing up to a point, down and wide, up to a point, down and wide. Again, if you want some ab work with this, you can lift the legs up, and we're gonna be exhaling every time that we press. The second exercise that we're gonna do, you might want to go, oh, I'm sorry, let me do this with a band first. If you just have a band, you can sit up, put it behind you, lay down on the band. You probably won't use the handles, so you just grab the band. Grab it with your elbows on the floor. That way, as you press, you're gonna get the resistance that you want. If it's still too light, then just kind of inch your hands down the band and do your presses this way. No, you don't need to have the handles dangling in your face. You can hold on to them as well, but you really won't use the handles. If I tried to use the handles, you'll see there's just no resistance there. So, like I said, grab the band with your elbows on the floor and then start making adjustments and resistance from there, okay? So that's a dumbbell version and a banded version of your floor press, the first exercise. Now, the second exercise that we're gonna do is chest fly. So we're doubling up on our pecs here. This is an isolation movement though. So we're gonna start with our hands up, palms facing each other. Now I'm going to drop my hands down and pull them together. While I do this, I'm going to keep a little bit of flex in my elbow. It's not going to increase on the way down. A lot of people will do their flies and they bend their arm and they kind of press it up and in. We want this to be like a big hugging motion. Okay, so our elbows just keep this little angle in them, and it's just a big hugging motion. Inhale on the way down, exhale on the way up, and just like the floor press, if you want to get your abs involved, lift your feet up, press your low back to the floor, and do your flies like this, all right? The third thing that we're gonna do today is going to be for the abs. We're gonna be doing some leg raises. So I'm gonna have you take your hands, put them underneath your butt or your low back for some support, kind of crunch your shoulders up, make sure your back is pressed to the floor. Then bring your legs out, we're gonna exhale and lift our legs up. We're gonna stop when our feet are right above our hips. I don't want you rolling up real high. Just stop when your feet are above your hips or even before then, and try not to let your heels hit the floor. Get as low as you comfortably can. Exhaling on the way up. The fourth thing that we're gonna do, we're gonna be up on our feet, and you're gonna need some dumbbells for this. We're gonna be doing a curl to press. So curling up, pressing up, and then back down. On the way back down, make sure you finish your curl. Tuck the elbows in and then unfold the arms. And at the bottom, your palms should point towards your legs, not forward, okay? Curl, press, back down, finishing both motions. A lot of people from the top, they'll just drop their arms back down. and that's kind of incomplete. So we want to make sure that we complete both of those motions. After that, you'll probably need a lighter pair of dumbbells. We're going to do an upright row and then a side raise. So the weight might feel light on the upright row. We have to default to the side raise because that's a weaker movement for our shoulders. When you're doing your side raise, make sure you're tilting the front of the dumbbell down. When you're doing the upright row, make sure your elbow is higher than your shoulder. Okay, I don't want my elbow low because again, I start to flex, hit the wrist, and it puts my wrist in a really weird angle. You see it's bending over here. So I want to keep my wrist as locked as I can, like I'm pulling up 2 zippers. Driving my elbows up, swinging the weight down, and then pulling them out. So we're going to upright row, side raise, upright row, side raise. Keep your knees soft while you do that. Then we're going to get to the 6th exercise, which is a hand to forearm plank. You guys will be down in push-up position. We're going to drop to our forearms, pop, pop, and then press ourselves back up. Then we want to try to go the other way. So this time I planted my right hand and then my left. This time I'm going to plant my left hand and then my right. So we're just going back and forth. Hands, forearms, hands, forearms, hands, okay? So that's your 6 exercises. Like I said, after we finish all 6, we'll take a 45-second break and we're going to go through this 3 times today. All right, I hope you're warmed up and ready to go. Starting with the floor press, get your weights or your band ready. Get yourself down. 3, 2, 1, let's go. Remember to exhale as you press. One thing I did not cover in the demo is where you're bringing your elbows to. Make sure you're not flaring your elbows way out in line with your shoulders. You want to drop them somewhere in between your hip and where your shoulder is. So I typically think of dropping my elbows down about 45 degrees from where my shoulder is. Again, if you see me lifting my legs up, I'm just adding a little bit of extra difficulty or intensity to this by incorporating my abs. You certainly do not need to do this. Okay. Moving to chest flies, I'm gonna lighten up my weights a little bit. Again, that's totally up to you. All right, I'm gonna have my legs out for this one. And again, this is a big hugging motion. Make sure you're not locking your elbows out and also that you're not increasing the bend on the way down, okay? If you do have your legs up, make sure you're keeping your low back pressed to the floor. And of course, exhaling on the way up. Big hug, big hug. Doubling up on our chest from the floor press to our flies here. All right, we're staying right here on the ground. Hands underneath your back or your butt. We're gonna be doing leg raises. Make sure your low back stays pressed to the floor. Trying to bring our legs up to approximately 90 degrees. Exhaling as we pull. If you feel any strain in your low back, you can always bend your knees, shorten your range of motion a little bit. You can even regress this to a reverse crunch if you need to. And if you notice, I have my head lifted up. If you want to keep your head on the ground, that's totally fine. It's just kind of a personal preference of mine. All right, up on your feet, dumbbells in hand. We're gonna be doing our curl to press. You'll hear me exhale twice on this movement. On the curl and the press itself. If you want, You can always do one big breath out on the way up. Totally up to you, but at least breathing out as we are squeezing the biceps and the shoulders. Also, you can stagger your stance if it makes it feel a little more natural for you to keep your knees soft. Also up to you, preference thing, what feels better. Whatever you can do to make it work. All right, moving into our upright row and side raise. All right, upright row, like I'm pulling up 2 zippers, elbows nice and high, and your side raise, tilting the dumbbell down at the top of the movement. Elbows stay soft on your side raise. Knees should stay soft as well. And I'm gonna turn so you can see I have the little forward lean so I can get the weights in front of me. I'm not standing straight up. A little forward lean so my hands can fall right in front of me, especially for that side raise. And then on your side raise, make sure you're not bringing your hands higher than your shoulders. Okay, hand to forearm plank. Starting on your hands, push-up position. Try and switch which hand you press up with every time. Core, shoulders, abs, chest, glutes. All right, you guys, round number 1 is done. Get yourself a drink of water. All right, 5 seconds, floor press. Round number 2. Here we go. Also breathing hard on that hand to forearm plank. But I hope you got some recovery. You're exhaling as you press. Again, if you want to add the abs to this, you can lift your legs up. From this compound movement, we go to our isolation movement next, which is those chest flies. I'm going to keep the same weight. Again, this is like a big hug. Soft elbows, but fixed angle in your elbows. And just like that chest press, if you want to get your abs involved, you can lift your feet up. And you don't have to do it the whole time. Like maybe you want to pick them up now. And then you can relax them. As long as you keep doing your flies the whole time. Good, weights down, staying here on the floor. We'll be doing our leg raises next. Hands underneath you for support. Press your low back to the floor. Bring those legs Straight up. Exhaling when the legs come up. And keeping your low back pressed to the floor. Here comes the sweat. I can feel it. Okay, dumbbells in hand. We're gonna be up to our feet, doing our dumbbell curl and press. Soft knees while you do this. Breathing out on the way up. As you press overhead, make sure that you're not letting your hips scoot way forward. Creates a lot of compression in your low back when you do that. So make sure you're keeping your abs a little engaged so we don't arch while we press. Keep your knees soft. Good. Going to be going to our upright row and side raise. Good, up row, side raise. Remember with that upright row, I want you to think about pulling up two zippers, keeping the weights really close to you, keeping your elbows high, at least higher than your shoulders. You don't have to go as high as I'm going. Just make sure, even if you stop at the bottom of your chest, that your shoulders are higher than at least where your hands are. We never want to do this with our upright row. And of course, on the side raise, make sure your elbows stay nice and soft. A little forward lean so the weights can end up in front of you, not next to you. All right, down to hand to forearm plank. The second time with this. Good, squeezing your core, squeezing your legs. Steady pace, you guys. All right, round 2 is done. Grab a drink of water. We got 1 to go. All right, you guys, weights in hand, 3rd round. That was a fast 45 seconds. Here we go with the floor press. Last round. So it's the last round. This weight isn't particularly heavy for me. So because it's not heavy, to increase my intensity, I'm gonna increase my pace. Now when I say increasing intensity, that doesn't always mean you have to go faster. Okay, intensity doesn't always equal speed. Sometimes it's adding weight and slowing down. Sometimes it's just slowing down, keeping the same weight. Whew. Okay, we have our flies coming up next. So change weights if you need to. And get ready to go. There it is again, big hugging motion. Think about someone that you like. Give them a big hug, wrap them up. But keep your arms long, elbows soft. Of course, if you want to add a little intensity, you can lift your feet up, get your abs involved. I'm going to save a little of my energy for that leg raise coming up next though. Got to strategize sometimes. I did it in the first round. Maybe next time I do this, I do all 3 rounds. But I did it in the first round. I'll be okay with that today. All right, weights down. We have that leg raise coming up. Like I said, hands below your butt. Crunch your shoulders up. Press your low back to the floor. And let's start that leg raise. Last round, you guys. What's your motivation? My motivation is just to make it through. That's fine. Whatever it takes. Maybe you got a vacation coming up. Maybe you got an anniversary coming up. Maybe it's just a hot date. Who knows? Maybe you got a doctor's appointment coming up. That's good motivation. Want to stay healthy. All right, we're going to be up on our feet for our curl to press. Whew. Knees soft. Now we're getting tired. So it's going to be even easier for our body to want to make things as easy as possible, which means a lot of times locking the knees, shooting the hips forward on your presses. Don't let it happen. Keep your knees soft. Keep your abs engaged. Keep breathing. You're gonna make it through this. Nice high presses. Make sure you're pressing over your shoulders, not going out, especially when you're tired. If you're tired. I'm not saying you're tired. You should be a little tired. I'm a little tired. Okay, shoulders again. Upright row to side raise. Pulling up 2 zippers. Weights close to the body. Elbows high. Little lean forward. Ooh. Yes. Sweating, breathing hard. Heart rate is up. Again, you don't need to match my pace. I'm going a little faster because these weights aren't super heavy. They don't need to be. You don't need a heavy weight to get a good workout in. Nice, down to the floor. Last time, hand to forearm plank. Steady pace. Here we go. Again, I'm adding a little speed to this just because I'm upping my intensity. Doesn't mean you need to do the same thing. Maybe next time. Woo! Getting close. Gotta be at least halfway through. I'm hoping. Even if we're not, I'm gonna go the whole time. Oh, look at that. All right. That is the end of your final round. Thank you so much for working out with me. From all of us at WYM Fitness, have a good, healthy rest of your day.